أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين. فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This surah is a chapter 23, the 23rd from the Quran. And Allah Azza wa Jalla describes the qualities of the true believers. قد أفلح المؤمنون. قد أفلح المؤمنون, certainly will the believers have succeeded. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stamped and certified success to al-mu'mineen. Now, who are these believers that have already succeeded? Al-Quran al-Kareem describes and he listed down the characteristics of these people as follows. الذين قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. The first quality is a prayer. And Allah Azza wa Jalla did not just mention that they pray. So they who are, during their prayers, humbly submissive. The first quality. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Certainly will the believers have succeeded. Who are they? They establish khushu' in their prayer. They don't just pray like, unfortunately, like most of us do today. But they humbly submit themselves. They concentrate and focus on their prayers. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Second, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. And they turn away from ill speech. They turn away from ill speech. They don't have time for obscenities and vain talk and empty talk. Laughing all the day and engaging in these obscenities, like fortunately again most of us would do. No, they don't have time for that. They don't want to waste their time in doing that. So they've got something else to do. Number 3, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. And they who are observant of zakah. They don't just speak about zakah. They don't just actually speak about it or they just save money for it. Okay, and they don't pay it to the recipient of zakah. No. So they are observers of zakah, so they know when and how much they should pay the zakah, the annual due to the poor. So, and they know to who they should give it. So they give zakah, they don't withhold it. And they know how much. They don't just give a part of the money that they have, just give it. No. It has to be the amount due. And how much is it? in their savings. Allah Azza wa Jalla have mentioned these virtuous actions related to the sound believers. They are they who are observant. الذين هم للزكاة فاعلون. So they really give the zakat to the people who are actually recipients of the zakat, the poor and the needy and the people who need it. The fourth quality is وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And they who guard, protect their private parts from zina. They protect and they guard their private part. As Allah Azza mentioned in the Quran. If they are married, their wife is sufficient for them. If they are married, their wife is enough for them. If they are not married, then the Prophet ﷺ have said, if you can't afford marriage in hadith, then you take on siyam, fasting like we do, alhamdulillah. Siyam, it kills desires and passions. Yeah? And also, while doing that, you should proceed in the ways and means to really earn money and earn job, inshallah, and have the possibility, have the ability to get married. Otherwise, the Prophet ﷺ said, take on fasting. And be sabr of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and make sabr and ask dua from Allah Azza wa Jalla to give you a bit of strength and patience to stay away from these bad things like a zina or adultery. والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون. The fifth one, and they actually those who are to their trust and promise. Their trust and their promise are attentive. They are attentive. When they promise something, they fulfill it. And when they are trusted with something, they deliver. They keep their trust and they keep their promise. Okay, if they give a promise, they fulfill it. Yeah, and if they are entrusted with something, they don't betray. So they fulfill both promise and trust. And the last one, amazingly, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, come back to the prayer again. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَوَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. And they actually who maintain their prayers. They don't lose their prayers. And they don't neglect their prayers. And subhanAllah, something is quite a bit striking here and eye-catching. The prayer has been mentioned twice in this verse. In the first verse of Surah Al-Mu'mineen. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. The first one is a salah is in connection with khushu', and the second one is a salah is connected with maintenance and guarding the salah and protecting the salah. إخواني, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. The first one, I would like to really just focus on this one, because most of us pray and really we have yet to engage in salah properly and pray salah with concentration and khushu'. What is khushu'? Khushu' is a state of mind. Yeah? It's a state of calmness. It's a state of serenity and tranquility. And it's when the heart is connected, when the heart is in full humility with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what khushu' is. Khushu', the concepts of khushu' is very essential. The khushu', the concentration in salah, is the core of the prayer. Allah Azza wa Jalla said in Hadith Qudsi, أَتَقَبَّلُ الصَّلَاةَ مِمَّنْ تَوَضَعَ بِهَا لِعَظَمَتِهِ. I only accept the prayer from him who humbles himself in it to make greatness, to the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the one from whom I accept the prayer. Some people misunderstood the concept of khushu', thinking that crying and weeping, that's the khushu'. Or maybe you can bend your head and bend your body, that's the khushu'. Khushu' is in the heart. It's in the heart. When a person's heart is fully connected, is fully occupied, yeah, of what he says and hears, then he is in true state of khushu'. He is in true state of khushu'. So when you pray, this is very important, brothers and sisters, very, very important, okay? You don't just pray. You understand what you are saying. And you understand what the dua that you are saying, the tasbih, the dhikr, the recitation of the Quran that you are saying. And you keep your heart present on the prayer, okay? So one of the ways that will help, it's going to help us, inshallah, to bring the required khushu' in our prayer is to be mindful of the word you recite from the Quran, and especially Al-Fatiha. Now, how many of us, unfortunately, are aware that when you recite Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, that you are in like a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you bring that into your memory, your mind, when you are praying, that you are conversing with Allah, you're asking, you're praising Allah, glorifying Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Sadaqa abdi, abdi is telling the truth. Sadaqa abdi is right. My slave is right. I am the Lord of the world. I am the owner of the day. This is what Fatiha is. Fatiha is a conversation. Yeah? And you ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, oh God, oh Allah, guide me to the straight path. Ihdina as-sirata, guide us to the straight path. After glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that will, inshallah, help us to transform our prayer experience to the next level. First, we understand the Fatiha. And also, we try to understand the common chapters in the Quran that we read. If we read Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Surah Al-Falaq, Surah Al-Nas, try to understand the meaning of these verses, of these chapters. So when you actually use them and when you read them in your salah, you are fully aware of the words. So you know what the words are. That will bring the khushu' into your heart. So you concentrate with these verses and you know what they are saying, know what they are speaking about. That's one of the tips, one of the ways. Another way recommended by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we should, ikhwani, think every and each prayer that we pray is the last prayer they're going to perform. And after that prayer is the one in which Allah Azza wa Jalla will ask us about in the day of judgment. Now, if you know that the prayer you're going to pray is your last prayer, is your final prayer. Say, for instance, this Asr prayer is coming, yeah? So we just prayed Dhuhr. This Asr prayer will be your last prayer. How will you perform that prayer? You're going to beautify it. You will perform it the way it should be, with the concentration, with the focus, with humility and humbleness, thinking that prayer will be your last prayer. So this, inshallah, will help us to perform the prayer with devotion, concentration, and care we're looking for. May Allah Azza wa Jalla repair our prayers, fix our prayers, accept our prayers, and inshallah give us the right understanding, the right knowledge, and make us humble, make us to really concentrate whenever we pray. Wa akhiru da'wana, and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.